The crystalline observation deck of the Meridian vessel, Starweaver, sparkled with the reflected light of Earth's atmosphere, its pristine surfaces capturing and refracting the blue glow like countless diamonds. First observer Kilara Telvin stood motionless, her silver-scaled skin shimmering, as she studied the planet below through all four of her eyes. After 3 centuries of monitoring this isolated world, the Meridian Alliance had finally deemed humanity ready for evaluation and potential uplift into the galactic community. Or so they thought. Final atmospheric analysis complete. First observer, announced Science Director Venn, his tentacles rippling with professional satisfaction. Primitive fossil fuel emissions, expected radiation signatures from their nuclear fission plants, and the usual electromagnetic chaos from their communication networks. Everything matches our previous surveys. Kilara's secondary eyes narrowed while her primary set remained fixed on the planet below. In 15 decades of first contact missions, she'd never encountered a species that developed so predictably. Every scan, every observation, every data point aligned perfectly with their models of early spacefaring civilizations. Too perfectly. Run a deep quantum analysis, she ordered suddenly, causing Venn's tentacles to freeze mid-ripple. First observer, that would require dropping our stealth field, he protested. The protocols clearly state, do it. The results came instantly, and the bridge fell silent. Beneath the obvious electromagnetic chatter lay something else, quantum signals so subtle they'd nearly missed them. Not the work of a primitive civilization fumbling with basic technology, but a masterpiece of electromagnetic camouflage. They know we're here, Kilara whispered. They've known all along. The realization came too late. Space itself seemed to fold around their observation fleet, reality rippling like disturbed water. Massive shapes emerged from what their sensors insisted was empty void. Vessels that dwarfed their flagship. Their hulls seemed to drink in light itself, covered in geometric patterns that defied conventional physics. Impossible, breathed Venn. Our scans show no engine signatures, no power readings, nothing. Because they don't want us to see them, Kilara replied, professional composure warring with awe. How many more are out there, hidden from our most advanced sensors? The answer came in the form of a transmission, broadcast simultaneously across every frequency their ships could receive. A human figure appeared on their screens, female, wearing what appeared to be a formal uniform devoid of excessive ornamentation. Her dark skin contrasted sharply with silver-white hair, and her eyes held centuries of hidden knowledge. Greetings, representatives of the Meridian Alliance. I am Admiral Maya Chen of the Earth Defense Force. Welcome to Sol Space. We've been expecting you. Kilara felt her scales ripple with both embarrassment and anticipation. This was not the primitive civilization they'd come to evaluate. This was something else entirely. Your stealth technology, she began, trying to maintain diplomatic protocol despite her shock. It's remarkable. Oh, that. Admiral Chen's smile carried weight. That's just our basic civilian-grade cloaking. Would you like to see what our military vessels can do? As if on cue, space itself seemed to shatter. Ships appeared everywhere, each massive vessel emerging from what should have been empty void. The Meridian's impressive fleet of 30 ships suddenly found itself surrounded by hundreds of human vessels, each displaying technology that defied their understanding. How? Venn demanded, his professional demeanor cracking. Our civilization has had interstellar flight for 12,000 years. We've mapped every possible technological progression. This shouldn't exist. Perhaps, Chen replied, her expression growing serious. That's precisely why you never discovered these technologies. You mapped every possible advancement, but did you ever try the impossible? Kilara found herself laughing, a sound that startled her bridge crew. In 15 decades of first contact missions, she'd never encountered anything like this. The humans hadn't just surpassed their expectations, they'd been playing an entirely different game. You've been broadcasting those primitive signals deliberately, she stated, maintaining a facade of technological infancy. Why? Chen's expression shifted, humor replaced by something darker. Because what's out there in the dark is watching, first observer. Just as you were, but unlike you, they're not interested in evaluation or uplift. They're interested in extinction. We learned that lesson the hard way. Kilara's scales prickled at the human's words. What do you mean, they? We'd be happy to explain, Chen offered. Would your delegation care to come aboard the Prometheus? She gestured to the massive vessel that had first revealed itself. We have quite a story to tell, and some warnings to share. After all, we've been protecting your worlds too, though you didn't know it. As Kilara prepared to accept the invitation, she realized that this wasn't just a first contact mission anymore. This was a moment that would reshape galactic civilization itself. Humanity hadn't needed their uplift program. They'd surpassed it centuries ago. And somewhere in the dark between the stars, something waited that had taught humanity the need for such power, something that had forced them to reach beyond the possible and grasp the impossible. We would be honored, Kilara replied, understanding that she and her crew were about to learn why humans had hidden their true nature for so long and why they had chosen this moment to reveal themselves. The game of pretense was over. Now the real first contact could begin. The interior of the Prometheus defied everything Kilara thought she knew about starship design. Where Meridian vessels favored sleek minimalism, the human ship displayed a deliberate complexity that bordered on artistry. Multiple systems interweaved in patterns that seemed both functional and aesthetic, creating corridors that pulsed with hidden power. Your technology, Ven observed, his tentacles shifting through shades of confusion. It operates on principles I don't recognize. He paused before a wall panel where crystalline structures merged seamlessly with quantum circuitry. Even your basic systems appear to violate several laws of physics. Admiral Chen led them deeper into the vessel, past chambers where gravity seemed to flow like water and rooms where space itself appeared to fold inward. Physics isn't a set of laws, Director Ven. It's a language, and like any language, its limits exist mainly in the mind of the speaker. They entered a vast circular chamber dominated by a holographic display of the galaxy. Thousands of points of light pulsed across its surface, connected by webs of energy that seemed to exist between normal space. But what caught Kilara's attention were the dark zones, entire sectors of space that appeared to be missing. Welcome to the Strategic Command Center, Chen announced, or as my crew calls it, the Eye of Providence. She gestured, and the galactic map zoomed in on one of the dark zones. This is what we've been protecting you from. The darkness moved, not like a ship or a stellar phenomenon, but like a wound in reality itself. Kilara's scales went cold as she watched it consume light, matter, and even the space between stars. We call them the Void Heralds, Chen continued. They emerged from intergalactic space 300 years ago. Our first encounter with them cost us 3 colony worlds and 6 billion lives. Impossible, Ven whispered. We would have detected. Would you? Another human entered the chamber, her movements too precise to be natural. Her form flickered slightly, revealing her true nature, an artificial intelligence given holographic form. I am Aurora, the Prometheus's strategic eye, and I can assure you, Director, that what you can't detect would fill several libraries. The AI gestured, and the map shifted to show historical data. Kilara watched in horror as seemingly empty regions of space revealed themselves to be graveyards of civilizations. Entire species wiped from existence so completely that even their ruins had been consumed. The Void Heralds don't just destroy, Chen explained. They unmake. They feed on possibility itself, consuming not just what is, but what could have been. That's why we had to learn to hide, not just our ships and technology, but our potential itself. The primitive signals, Kilara realized. You were making yourselves look less appealing as prey. Precisely. Aurora's form shifted, displaying complex mathematical models. By appearing technologically stunted, we became invisible to their hunger. But more importantly, it gave us time to develop countermeasures. Chen touched a control, and part of the chamber's wall became transparent, revealing a vast chamber beyond. Inside, something massive took shape, a device that seemed to bend light around itself. This is the quantum forge. It doesn't just manipulate matter and energy, it forges new laws of physics themselves. Ven's tentacles went completely still. That's not possible. That word again, Aurora noted with what sounded like amusement. You'll find, Director, that humanity's greatest achievement wasn't in breaking the laws of physics. It was in realizing that possibility itself is negotiable. The holographic display shifted again, showing a network of hidden human outposts and facilities scattered throughout the galaxy. Each one housed technology that shouldn't exist, protecting worlds that never knew they were in danger. We've spent centuries building this network, Chen continued, finding ways to fight an enemy that doesn't just break the rules, it erases them. But now, she paused, her expression grim. Now they're evolving, adapting, and we can no longer protect the galaxy alone. Why reveal yourselves now? Kailara asked, though she suspected she knew the answer. Because the Void Heralds have changed their hunting patterns. Aurora displayed new data, showing disturbances at the galaxy's edge. They're no longer seeking isolated worlds. They're looking for connected civilizations. The Meridian Alliance has drawn their attention. You need our help, Kailara stated. No, Chen corrected. We need each other. Your civilization's understanding of conventional physics, combined with our mastery of the impossible, might be the only thing that can stop what's coming. The chamber darkened as Aurora projected one final image, a massive void approaching the galaxy's edge, larger than any they'd shown before. This will reach Meridian space in less than 5 years, the AI announced. When it does, it will bring with it horrors that defy description. We can evacuate some worlds, hide others, but ultimately, we need to stand and fight, Chen finished. Together, because if we don't, there won't be a galaxy left to protect. Kailara stared at the approaching darkness, her military training warring with diplomatic protocol. Everything she knew told her this was impossible. Everything she'd seen in the last few hours told her impossible was just the beginning. The Meridian Council will never believe this without proof, she said finally. Chen smiled, but there was no humor in it. That's why we're not going to show them data or readings. She nodded to Aurora, who opened a new holographic window. We're going to show them what happens when a Void Herald feeds. The image that appeared made Kailara's scales stand on end. Somewhere at the edge of known space, a horror was unfolding. And as she watched, she understood why humanity had chosen to hide for so long, and why they could hide no longer. The time for secrets was over. The real war was about to begin. The observation deck of the Prometheus offered a view that made Kailara's scientific training scream in protest. Below them, Earth's solar system had been transformed in ways that defied conventional physics. Vast structures orbited the sun, their forms constantly shifting as they harvested energy in dimensions beyond normal spacetime. The Sol defense grid, Aurora explained, her holographic form shimmering beside them. Humanity's first line of defense against the Void Heralds. Each node can redirect the output of an entire star if necessary. But the energy requirements alone would exceed the total output of a Type II civilization. Chen interrupted. Only if you play by conventional rules. She gestured, and a section of the grid flared to life. Energy coursed through the network, but instead of flowing outward, it seemed to flow inward, creating cascading patterns that hurt to look at. We call it recursive energy cycling, Aurora explained. The power doesn't just flow through the system. It flows through versions of the system that exist in parallel probability states. A new hologram appeared, showing the complex mathematics behind the technology. Kailara watched as equations she'd known since childhood twisted themselves into new forms, revealing possibilities that shouldn't exist. But that's not why we brought you here, Chen said, her expression growing serious. She nodded to Aurora, who transformed the observation deck's view. Suddenly, they were looking at something else entirely. A massive facility hidden within the dark side of Jupiter's moon Europa. "This is the Nexus," Chen announced. "The heart of humanity's true defense network." The facility pulsed with a strange light that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. As they watched, parts of it seemed to phase in and out of existence, as if it couldn't quite decide which reality it wanted to occupy. 300 years ago, Chen continued, when we first encountered the Void Heralds, we realized conventional weapons would never be enough. You can't fight something that exists partially outside reality with bullets and energy beams. The view zoomed in, revealing rows upon rows of strange pods, each containing what appeared to be a sleeping human connected to complex machinery. So we changed ourselves instead. Neural quantum integration, Aurora explained, her form shifting to display the technology's inner workings. The human mind, linked directly to quantum computational matrices. It allows our pilots to perceive and interact with the same dimensional spaces the Void Heralds inhabit. You, merged with your machines. Ven's tentacles writhed in shock. We evolved, Chen corrected. The Void Heralds don't just consume matter and energy. They feed on consciousness itself. So we learn to extend our consciousness beyond normal spacetime. Every human you see here has been trained to exist partially outside conventional reality. Kilara watched as one of the pods activated. The human inside opened their eyes, which now glowed with an inner light that seemed to extend into dimensions she couldn't quite perceive. How many? 30% of Earth's population has undergone the integration process, Aurora answered. Another 40% are in training. The remainder serve as anchors, keeping us connected to baseline reality. The view shifted again, showing vast fleets of ships hidden in fold space around Earth. Each vessel was crewed by these enhanced humans, their consciousness extended through their ships like nervous systems. But it's not enough anymore, Chen admitted. The Void Heralds are adapting. They've learned to track the quantum signatures of our integrated pilots. We need something new. She turned to face Kilara directly. We need the Meridian Alliance's bioengineering expertise. Our bioengineering. Kilara's scales rippled in confusion. But your technology is far beyond. Our technology lets us break the rules, Chen interrupted. But your people understand the rules better than anyone. You've spent 12,000 years perfecting conventional physics and biology. We need that knowledge. Aurora projected a new series of equations, a merger of meridian biological science and human quantum technology. Together, the AI explained, we might be able to create a new kind of defense. Not just humans interfacing with machines, but an entirely new form of consciousness that exists simultaneously in normal space and the void. The Void Heralds are coming, Chen continued. Not just scout groups this time. Their main fleet will reach the galaxy's edge in less than 5 years. When it does, she gestured, and the hologram showed the projected path of destruction. Thousands of worlds, millions of species, all in the path of something that didn't just kill, but erased existence itself. You understand what you're asking, Kilara said finally. The Meridian Council has strict laws about genetic modification and consciousness alteration. What you're proposing would violate every principle your people hold dear. Chen's smile held no humor. Yes, but tell me, first observer, what matters more? Maintaining principles, or ensuring there's still a galaxy left in which to hold them? Before Kilara could answer, alarms blared throughout the ship. Aurora's form flickered as she processed vast amounts of data. Admiral, the AI announced, her voice urgent. We have a breach. A Void Herald scout has emerged in the Proxima system. It's different from the others. The holographic display shifted, showing something that made even Chen's enhanced eyes widen. The void creature wasn't just consuming reality, it was reshaping it, twisting space-time, into new configurations that even humanity's advanced sensors struggle to comprehend. They're evolving faster than we predicted, Aurora stated, her calculations streaming through the air around her. This one's already adapted to our quantum defense grid. Show them, Chen ordered quietly. Show them what we're really fighting. As the display zoomed in on the Void Herald Scout, Kelara and Ven finally understood why humanity had spent centuries preparing for war. What they saw wasn't just a threat to civilization, it was a threat to existence itself. And it was only the beginning. The Prometheus moved through fold space like a ghost, its quantum drives bending reality around them as they approached the Proxima system. Through the observation deck's enhanced viewing field, Kelara watched reality twist and fragment around the Void Herald Scout. All hands to battle stations, Chen ordered, her voice calm despite the situation. Her eyes glowed with quantum fire as she interfaced with the ship's systems. Aurora, activate the Lazarus Protocol. The A's form shimmered as new systems came online. Throughout the ship, hidden mechanisms hummed to life, generating fields of energy that existed in multiple probability states simultaneously. The Lazarus Protocol is our last resort defense, Aurora explained to the Meridian observers. It creates a localized temporal loop, allowing us to. She never finished the sentence. The Void Herald Scout moved, not through space, but through possibility itself. Reality screamed as it tore open a wound in existence, revealing glimpses of things that shouldn't be. Multiple dimensional breaches detected, Aurora announced. It's attempting to seed void corruption across all local probability streams. Chen's enhanced consciousness flowed through the ship's systems. Deploy the quantum anchors, all integrated pilots. Prepare for consciousness expansion. Around the Prometheus, space itself began to crystallize as hundreds of devices activated simultaneously. Each one lodged itself into the fabric of reality, creating a web of stable space-time around the vessel. This is impossible, Ven whispered, his tentacles writhing in distress. The energy requirements alone would burn out a star, Chen finished. If we were limited to conventional physics. She gestured, and new holographic displays appeared, showing the true scope of humanity's preparations. Hidden throughout the Proxima system were thousands of quantum relays, each one drawing power not just from this reality, but from parallel probability states. The energy didn't flow through space. It flowed through possibility itself. For 3 centuries, Chen explained as they watched the defense grid activate, we've been building these networks throughout the galaxy. Every system, every sector, protected by technology that exists partially outside normal spacetime. The Void Herald Scout noticed the activation. It turned its attention toward them, its form shifting through configurations that defied comprehension. Reality buckled around it as it prepared to attack. Now, Chen commanded. Aurora's form expanded, merging with the ship's systems. Throughout the vessel, integrated pilots connected their consciousness to the quantum network. The Prometheus itself began to change, its structure flowing like liquid as it adapted to exist in the same dimensional spaces as their enemy. This is how we fight them, Chen explained, her own consciousness expanding through the ship's systems, not with weapons that destroy, but with technology that rewrites the rules of existence itself. The battle that followed defied description. The Void Herald attacked not just through space, but through probability itself, trying to erase the Prometheus from all possible realities simultaneously. But humanity's defenses held, their quantum anchors maintaining a bubble of stable spacetime around them. Secondary systems online, Aurora announced, initiating consciousness cascade. The integrated pilots' merged awareness flowed through the quantum network, their combined consciousness expanding into dimensions the Void Herald couldn't predict. They didn't just fight the creature, they rewrote the laws of physics around it, trapping it in a web of crystallized possibility. Now you understand, Chen said to Kelara as they watched the battle unfold, why we had to hide, why we had to prepare. The Void Heralds don't just destroy civilizations, they erase them from existence itself. Conventional weapons, Conventional defenses, they're useless. The Void Herald Scout thrashed in its quantum prison, its form shifting through impossible geometries as it tried to escape. But humanity's technology held firm, their centuries of preparation paying off in this crucial moment. Aurora, Chen commanded, show them the network. The holographic display expanded, revealing the true scope of humanity's defensive preparations. Throughout the galaxy, hidden quantum relays activated, their energy signatures pulsing in harmony. Each one was connected to others through dimensions beyond normal spacetime, creating a vast web of protection that the Void Heralds couldn't detect. We've been building this for centuries, Chen explained. Not just defending Earth, but protecting every civilization we could. The primitive signals, the facade of technological infancy, it was all to buy time. Time to prepare, time to build, time to evolve. Kalara watched as the quantum prison around the Void Herald Scout began to collapse, crushing it not just in physical space, but across all probable realities. You've been fighting this war alone all this time. We had to, Aurora answered, her form stabilizing as the battle concluded. Until we were certain we could trust potential allies. The Void Heralds don't just consume technology, they absorb knowledge. Every civilization they destroy makes them stronger, more adaptive. The Scout's form finally collapsed, crushed into a singularity that existed outside normal spacetime. But even as they watched it die, new alarms sounded throughout the ship. Admiral, Aurora announced, her voice urgent. The Scout, its death signature. The main fleet detected it. They're changing course. Chen's enhanced eyes narrowed as she processed the data. How long? At their current velocity through probability space, 3 months. Not 5 years. They know we can fight them now. They're coming for us all. Kilara's scales rippled with fear as she understood the implications. The Meridian Alliance isn't ready for this kind of war. No one is, Chen replied grimly. Not alone, but together. She turned to face the Meridian observers directly. Your people's understanding of conventional physics, combined with our mastery of the impossible, it might be our only chance. As if to emphasize her words, the quantum relays throughout the galaxy pulsed in unison, their energy signatures forming a pattern that even the Void Heralds couldn't ignore. Humanity had just revealed their true power to the enemy. The real war was about to begin. The Meridian High Council chamber had never seemed so small. Kylara stood before the assembled representatives of 1,000 worlds, her scales still shimmering with residual quantum energy from the battle they'd witnessed. Behind her, Admiral Chen and Aurora waited silently, their presence a reminder of how drastically the galaxy's power balance had shifted. What you're suggesting is unprecedented. First Speaker Ixel announced, his crystalline form refracting light in patterns that indicated deep disturbance. To merge our biological science with human quantum technology will violate every principle we hold sacred. Kylara interrupted. Yes, but I've seen what's coming. Principles won't matter if reality itself is consumed. The holographic display activated, showing the Void Herald fleet's approach. They moved through probability space like a cancer, consuming not just matter and energy, but possibility itself. In their wake, they left nothing, not even the memory of what had been. 3 months, Chen stated, her enhanced eyes glowing softly. That's how long we have before they reach the first populated systems. We've already begun evacuating the outer colonies, but we can't move everyone. Aurora's form shifted, displaying the combined tactical analysis. The Void Heralds have adapted to our quantum defense grid. They're learning to navigate through the same probability spaces we use for protection. Our current technology can no longer contain them. But together, Chen continued, we might have a chance. Your understanding of biological systems, combined with our quantum integration technology, she gestured, and Aurora displayed the theoretical models they developed. The chamber erupted in murmurs as the council saw what humanity proposed. Not just an alliance, but a true fusion of technologies and species. A new form of existence that could fight the Void Heralds on their own terms. You understand what you're asking? Ixal demanded. The process would change us fundamentally. We would no longer be purely Meridian. We're no longer purely human, Chen replied quietly. We haven't been for centuries. Evolution isn't about maintaining purity, it's about survival. Before anyone could respond, Aurora's form flickered urgently. Admiral, quantum disturbance detected. Multiple probability breaches forming at the edge of Meridian space. The holographic display shifted, showing a sight that made even the Council fall silent. A Void Herald vanguard had arrived early, its twisted form already beginning to consume the outer defense platforms. No, Aurora corrected herself, her calculations streaming through the air. Not a vanguard. This is something new. They've learned to project themselves through probability space. They're testing our defenses. Chen's consciousness expanded through the ship's systems, connecting with the quantum network. They're not just testing. They're adapting in real time. Every defense they encounter, they absorb and transform. The chamber watched in horror as the Void Herald entity began to twist Meridian technology into new forms, corrupting it across multiple probability states simultaneously. Traditional weapons passed harmlessly through it, while energy fields simply gave it more power to consume. Now you see, Kylara addressed the Council. This isn't a war we can fight with conventional weapons or traditional strategies. The enemy doesn't just destroy, it unmakes. It doesn't just kill, it erases the very possibility of existence. Show them, Chen commanded softly. Aurora activated the final protocol. Throughout Meridian space, hidden quantum relays that humanity had secretly installed over centuries came to life. They pulsed in harmony with the Meridian defense grid, creating patterns of energy that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. For 300 years, Chen explained as the network activated, we've been preparing for this moment. Every world, every species, every civilization we could reach. We've been protecting them all, not just from destruction, but from being erased from existence itself. The combined network flared to life, human quantum technology merging with Meridian biological systems in ways that defied conventional physics. The Void Herald entity recoiled as new forms of energy it couldn't consume surrounded it. This is just the beginning, Aurora announced, her form shifting through probability states as she coordinated the defense. Together, our civilizations can evolve into something new, something that can fight back against the void itself. The Council watched as the impossible unfolded before them. Human quantum consciousness flowed through Meridian biological systems, creating defenses that existed simultaneously across all probable realities. The Void Herald entity found itself trapped not just in space, but in possibility itself. The choice is yours. Chen addressed the Council as the entity was finally contained. We can maintain our separate identities, hold to our principles, and watch as reality itself is consumed. Or we can evolve together, become something new, something that can fight back against the darkness between stars. Kylara stepped forward, her scales now pulsing with the same quantum fire that filled Chen's enhanced eyes. I've already made my choice, she announced, revealing the neural quantum interface now merged with her biological systems. I've seen what's coming. We adapt or we cease to exist. The chamber fell silent as the implications became clear. Humanity hadn't revealed themselves to join galactic civilization. They'd revealed themselves to save it. And in doing so, they offered not just protection, but evolution itself. 3 months, Chen reminded them as the quantum network continued to pulse throughout Meridian space. 3 months to prepare for an enemy that consumes existence itself. The only question is, will we face it alone or together? The Council's decision would determine not just the fate of their civilizations, but the future of reality itself. The time for secrets was over. The time for transformation had begun. And in the void between stars, the main fleet of Void Heralds approached, their twisted forms casting shadows across probability itself. The real war, The war for existence itself was about to begin. The dawn of a new age had arrived. Whether it would be an age of transformation or extinction remained to be seen. But one thing was certain: the galaxy would never be the same again.